Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Red Zone Room podcast. I am Michael Quattromine from the Tailgate podcast. With me, we got Will from 440 Sports. How you doing?
It's a good day, man. It's a good day.
It is a good day. It's always a good day when we're talking football. So, to get right into it, we're going to go over the outline for the day, starting off, obviously, AFC, NFC Championship recap. We're going to go over both of the games that happened yesterday. A few surprises. I will, not for Will and I. Will and I both had Bucks and Chiefs winning it, but we'll get into it. And then we are going to give our free agent quarterback destinations, whether a free agent or whether their name has just been in the news a lot, potentially going to be moved somewhere else. And then we're going to round it out for the day with the GOAT debate. Who is the greatest quarterback of all time? I know who the greatest quarterback of all time is, but we're going to get into a little conversation / debate. We'll see how things go about that. So, 440, I'm going to ask you first, brother. What are you thinking about Bucks and Packers?
Kevin King is trash. That was bad, man. He might have single-handedly sold that game. That was bad. But I mean, honestly, it's the thing that stood out to me was that play. The last play of the second half. It was like some Greg Williams with the Jets against the Raiders type stuff. You can't do that in the playoffs. The Bucks defense impressed me. A few takeaways. Aaron Jones fumbled twice. Well, they recovered it once, but he had a kind of a rough game, I feel like. Adams was struggling at the beginning for a little bit. You could see how frustrated he was. He kind of got the hang of it. Carlton Davis struggled a little bit more than I thought he would.
He played good. He got burned by MVS one play, but Jamal Dean had an awful game. They were the two guys they were targeting were Jamal Dean and then Kevin King on the other side. That's really what the fourth quarter was to me. It's just targeting those two guys.
Yeah, but I still cannot understand why LaFleur did not go for that at the end there. We have seen what conservativeness gets you, if that's even the word. The people who have been conservative in the playoffs so far, Mike Vrabel punted on that 4th and 1 or 2. We all know what we're talking about there. Mike Tomlin punted. Spacing out. I had 3 in my head. Maybe it was LaFleur.
Yeah,
I think Dermott was a little conservative, I feel like. But the conservative, it's not been working out for people in the playoffs lately. But the one thing I do want to say is don't stretch this. Like, after Vrabel lost, after Tomlin lost, Pete Carroll, I guess, although I agree with the Pete Carroll one. Every time somebody loses, everyone, like, Lamar Jackson, for example, everyone's like, oh, so overrated. And it's like, not every team is going to win. Like the Bills apparently are overrated because they couldn't go to the Super Bowl. Like, there's plenty of examples. But what I was talking about here is I've heard a few Matt LaFleur's overrated comments, and that's just not true. He's like, I don't have the exact record. I'm pretty sure it's like 29-8 with the Packers, 2-13-3 seasons, bottom line, and 2 NFC champions.
He's playing fantastic. He's coaching great. I don't think that what sold them was necessarily Kevin King. I don't think what sold them, well, I guess Kevin King for one example I'm about to bring up. I don't think what sold them was Aaron Rodgers. I don't even think it was Aaron Jones. I think it was honestly, just like you said before, it was just the game managing. It was the end of the second half. Bucks are ahead 14-10. Packers have the ball with like 35 seconds to go. And the only thing at like the 50-yard line, the only thing you can't do is take a sack. Aaron Rodgers takes a sack. So then Bucks, very ballsy play. Both like 20 seconds left, Bucks call a timeout. Aaron Rodgers on the next play throws a pick. So the Bucks with like 10 seconds or 8 seconds left, too far for a field goal, will set up like a 65-yarder. Bucks just catch the Packers sleeping, Kevin King sleeping, and touchdown to Scotty Miller. So that's the first hiccup. Then you have late in the game, Matt LaFleur down 8 with like 4 minutes to go. I think it was 4 minutes down 8. You don't kick the field goal. What does that get you? All you do, they're at what? The 8-yard line. If you don't get it, you have the Bucks pinned back way deep into their own zone. You force a 3-and-out, or even they get one first down, and you force a punt. You get the ball back with like 3 minutes to go, and you can still go down the field. Well, when you go for the field goal, now the Bucks have an open field, they have plenty of space, and they go down and they score. Like that just it made no sense to me why Matt LaFleur made that play call. I don't understand it. But yeah, I mean, Brady didn't have that great of a game. He really didn't. He threw for a lot of yards and had a few touchdowns, but overall, he had 3 picks. I understand one of them was tipped, but Brady did not have a fantastic game by any means. I think it was just the defense got to Rodgers. They forced him under pressure, and Tampa Bay got out to an early lead, and the Packers just couldn't match it.
Yeah, I would say though, like Tom Brady did not play great. He did not play bad. And I still think he deserved to win. Don't rule out that he had almost 300 passing yards and 3 touchdowns.
Mhm.
He still played fine, and he deserved to win.
I will say this: he looked like I in the first half. I remember saying to my friend, I was like, I've never seen Tom Brady throw the ball this well. Like the entire season, Tom Brady did not miss a pass. Like Joe Bucket, Troy Aikman, the entire time, I'm like, oh my god! Like every single pass was accurate with a ton of acceleration and so much velocity on every single one. He was playing out of his mind in the first half. In the second half, things kind of started to cool down a little bit. I mean, the offense was kind of going, but it obviously you had 21 in the first half and only had 10 in the second half, mostly because all 3 of Brady's picks did come in the second half. So I think it was honestly just the difference between the surge that the Bucks had in the first half compared to the second half.
Yeah, it was the weird little overthrow to Scotty Miller on the spot, but yeah,
Yeah.
I also think that that Evans tipped pick that was definitely Brady's fault in my opinion. Evans is 6'5" and he reached as high as he could and he tipped it.
Yeah.
And picks aren't always quarterback's fault, but like he overthrew it, like it was his fault. But
Yeah.
just
I can agree with that for sure. Look, it's gonna be one fun Super Bowl. Bucks are back. Bucks are back after like 15 years. Crazy.
baby goat versus big goat.
Yep. Yeah. I agree. I agree.
It's like if MJ and LeBron played in the finals. It's kind of crazy.
I know. I think it's gonna be a big passing of the torch for sure. Just look, after that press conference yesterday with Aaron Rodgers, he sounded like he was retiring. He sounded like he was done. Aaron Rodgers was he did not sound like he was going to be back next year. He sounded like, oh, remembering all the memories and it was a fun year, but the offseason, we'll have to see what happens. A lot of uncertainty ahead. Like he did not sound like a guy who was going to be back next year. I will say that. And Aaron Rodgers always does this because he's a not the best guy in the world, but he always does this. I mean, the guy he's got Ben Roethlisberger. Oh, is he going to retire? He's going to come back? Who knows? But
You
we'll
don't
have
you
to see.
don't retire after an MVP season. Like
I don't know why he
that's
would.
like Andrew Luck type retirement. Like, oh,
Mhm.
I'm a top 5 quarterback, but I'm just gonna walk out.
I don't know why. I have no idea why he would, but he did
I
not
think it
sound like he
was
was going to be
more
back.
of I think it was more of that he was fed up with losing NFC championships, organization and stuff like that. Because I saw something the other day and it was like top 5 Aaron Rodgers landing destinations. And I was like, whoa, what? Like, he ain't retiring. There's no chance in that.
Then play better.
I
And it
think it
was
was
Rodgers'
more of
game to win. It was the Bucks' game to lose. It was Rodgers' game to win at home. He had the bye week 2 weeks ago. I just don't. It was his game to win.
Rodgers did not play bad to me though.
He didn't play bad, but he didn't play good enough. He didn't.
Yeah.
Brady gave them the ball 3 times. He had 3 picks. The Rodgers had 3 relative. He had 1 really short field. He had 2 short fields. Like he had the ability to go down there and tie this game up. He just sucked. He started off the gate awful, 0 points in the first, and he ended the game with 3 points in the fourth. You're not going to win football games if you have 3 combined points in the first quarter and the fourth quarter. You're not. You're just not. If you can't open up the game hot and you can't close the game hot, you're not going to win. And Aaron Rodgers, to me, did not play all that well. His stat sheet. If you watch the game, he did not look all that great. He really didn't.
Yeah. Um, dude, but Shaquille Barrett, Jason Pierre-Paul, super underrated.
Yeah, they're the best linebacker core in the NFL.
Devin White and Volontae David obviously get their recognition, but those other two don't. That front seven is incredible. They have the best run defense in the league. Uh,
Shaq Barrett was like number 1 or 2 in sacks last year to Chandler Jones, wasn't he?
I think so, maybe.
I think so. Shaq Barrett was a beast, and he still is a
He's
beast.
fast. That dude is fast.
Yeah, and JPP had what 2 sacks yesterday?
I don't know.
I think he was the MVP of that game.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Do you have anything else to say about Bucks and Packers? Nothing.
No sir.
All right, so we are now going to move on to the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs at home took the dub 38-24 to punch their ticket to the Super Bowl. What are your thoughts?
Wow, the Chiefs are just too good, man. They're just too good. I'm there were definitely more Bills haters than Chiefs haters, but that did hopefully silence the Chiefs haters that were like, "Oh, they're barely winning games. They're not that good." They really were 15-1 if they didn't sit their starters in the last game.
Yeah.
So they've lost one game this year. So they're good. I don't care what. I mean, we've gone over this before. I don't care how many you win by. Like, come on.
Yeah,
It was the same. It was the same
Mhm.
thing as the Bills beating the Colts by 3, and everyone's like, "They barely won. They're not even good." But yeah, I mean, Josh Allen struggled a little bit. That dude takes like 20-yard sacks. That's the one thing he had got to fix in the offseason. They did a pretty good job on Diggs. That secondary for the Chiefs is a little underrated. With Jarius Sneed, Tyrann Matthew. Tyrann
Mhm.
Matthew's one of the best safeties in the league.
Yeah,
That defense does not get the credit it deserves.
it does not.
I think they could be top 10.
Yeah, I think for sure you can put them in that conversation. Honestly, you can put them as high as 7. I mean, their defense was good. They are 10th in the NFL in opponent points per game. Um, look, they were playing well, but yeah, I agree with you. I just it's the NFL. Like you're not gonna blow out every single team. It's not how that works. A win is a win, and I have been trying to shut down everybody who's been saying like, oh, but look at the strength of victory. Like, who cares? They're winning games. It's not like they're losing close ones or they're losing that. No, they're winning. You know, so they know how to win. Patrick Mahomes knows how to win, and to me, it just came down to Patrick Mahomes has been here twice before, and Josh Allen hasn't. And I think to me, Josh Allen really hasn't had that great of a playoffs. The Colts he played well, but last week versus the Ravens, 200 yards and a touchdown and a pick. I mean, no picks. That's not that great. And there were many opportunities for him to play well. So I I had the Chiefs going into this one. A lot of people were taking the Bills. I think 70% of America on like NFL polls were taking the Bills. I just don't know why. Like, I really don't. Of course, people are like, oh, look at the Chiefs run game. Look at the Bills run game. It's not much better. So, the Chiefs played great. You can't, I mean, Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill combined for almost 300 receiving yards. That's nuts. And them alone, they're going to win a lot of football games, just them. So, Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl, rightfully so. They belong there. Um, but yeah, my whole thing is you have to play 4 full quarters against this team, and I think the Bills only really played 1 quarter. I mean, outside of that first quarter, 3 in the second quarter, 3 in the third quarter, and then 9 because of garbage time in the fourth quarter. You got to play 4 complete quarters. You're not going to win a football game if you can't. And if you look at the Raiders earlier in the year, the Raiders scored more than a touchdown in every single quarter. That's what was part of the reason because they could keep up with the Chiefs. Chiefs were down 9-0 and then second quarter put up 21. Like that's the thing. The Chiefs can do that in a blink of an eye and you can't let them. You can't let the momentum tilt in their factor that much or their favor that much so that they're just dominating the game. You got to keep it like level.
Yeah, I mean, it also seemed like the Bills just had zero game plan for Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. I mean, it definitely the best receiving duo to a top 3 tight end, top 3 wide receiver, probably. Um, but I mean, you gotta. It seemed like they didn't even try. It just torched them. But the Chiefs are ridiculous in the red zone. Um, put up 38 on a team that held the Ravens offense to 3. You know, the Chiefs are going to win their division for the next 65 years. Like this is going to be a dynasty. Like they're going to be here for a while. They're not getting any. They're pretty young. They're pretty young all around, honestly.
The offensive line's old, but the rest of the team is it's very young. So that is very scary for the rest of AFC. But speaking of the rest of AFC, I bet you in the next 2 to 3 years, the AFC is gonna be like this much more talented than the NFC. Like the NFC is gonna suck. Like they're gonna be really bad. Like you might see in the next few years, like 2 NFC East teams making it to the playoffs. I mean, they're gonna be bad. It just we can see right now, just looking at the rankings, for the playoffs. Green Bay with the 1 seed, Aaron Rodgers is leaving. Seattle with the Saints with the 2 seed. Drew Brees is leaving $96 million in cap debt. 5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This team was Tom Brady was the difference maker, but without Tom Brady, I don't see this team competing. Chicago Bears, all types of cap issues. Who else this division? Honestly, Seattle. So I guess Seattle is gonna, if they get an offensive line and a defense, they're gonna be the team to beat in the NFC for the next 5 years. There's no one else there. There really isn't. So NFC is gonna be wide open. The AFC is gonna be crowded as hell. I mean, there are like legitimately 10 teams in the AFC that can probably maybe 11 teams in the AFC that can make the playoffs next year. Honestly, depending on how this offseason goes, if Deshaun Watson stays in the AFC, then yeah, I could say you can make the argument for 11 teams potentially making the playoffs next year. It's gonna be fun to watch, but yeah, NFC is gonna be dry as hell.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, you also think about like all the like young, promising star quarterbacks are all in the AFC.
Yeah.
You got
Oh yeah, great point. Great
Josh
point.
Allen. You got Baker Mayfield. You got Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. Let's see,
Say Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert, Mahomes.
Yeah.
All those young star quarterbacks.
Throw in Trevor Lawrence for the Jags.
Yeah,
You know?
seriously.
But like, great point though. Who in the NFC? Honestly, what
I would
quarterback? What
you
young
could call
Jalen
let's see,
Hurts?
Hurts. You could call Dak.
Sure. How old is Dak though?
Yeah,
28?
he's a little bit older than them.
27.
Russell's old, but he'll be there for a while.
Yeah.
That's it. Kyler. That's about it.
Yeah. So I think the Cardinals and the Seahawks are gonna be atop of the division for a long time, and the rest is no one. The NFC is gonna be dry.
I didn't even mention Watson if he stays in the AFC. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, but
So
you especially because there were seven teams in the AFC that were no worse than 11-5. One missed it, and the Dolphins, who are going to be very good, and next year the Chargers are going to be good. I think they'll be playoff contenders. The Broncos, you never know. I don't think so, in my opinion, but maybe Drew Lock has a Josh Allen type turnaround. The Jaguars, I don't think they will be playoff contenders, but they're on their way there maybe in 2 years.
don't sleep on my Patriots with that much cap space. They're quarterback away.
Watson, I'll say it. If they get Stafford or Watson.
Yeah, they got all the opt-outs back, bunch of cap space, a lot of draft picks. We'll have to see. But yeah, I agree. They're like I said, I think there are 11 teams in the AFC that can compete for a playoff spot next year. Because how many were there this year? 9? If you account for the Raiders, Dolphins, Colts, Browns, Ravens, Titans, Steelers, Bills, Chiefs. So you got 9 teams in the AFC this year. You add in the Chargers, add in maybe the Patriots if you want to add them in, and add in possibly the Jaguars. I think you could definitely make a case for that.
Yeah.
But hey, you got any more final takes on Buffalo and Chiefs?
Nah, I think we covered it all.
Nah. All right. So if you're still listening to the podcast, that means that you really care about what 449 have to say, which means that I'm not gonna lie, you're pretty dumb if you're not following us on TikTok at the Red Zone Room podcast or at the Red Zone Room. I'm pretty sure. Again, it's probably on the bottom right there. Go follow all of our socials too. But we are going to now hop into our quarterback destination. So the next 12, if we got to all 12, we'll see how many we get to. But the next dozen or so people that we get to are quarterbacks that are either free agents, potentially on the move, or they're in the hot seat. So first off, we're going to start with the guy who is dominating all of the news, Deshaun Watson. Where do you see Deshaun going, or what are your overall thoughts about this situation?
I mean, there's literally like 32 teams. There's like
Yeah,
double digit teams where he could go. I honestly couldn't tell you. It depends on what teams want to give up. I don't like it said that he like I don't know if that was a true rumor or not that he wants to go to the Jets. First of all, I don't think that would be smart for him just because I they kind of have a bright future, but they're not going to be there for a few years and he would go there and not have the weapons that he would damn like he had a better receiving core in Houston, but I mean obviously Houston's a worse situation, but it just wouldn't be much better, in my opinion. And also, even I don't know if that rumor was true or not, but he doesn't really get a say in where he goes.
Yeah,
Like, so
exactly. The
it's up to
Texans, yeah, I mean, what the Texans are gonna do, in my opinion, is they're gonna field every single offer they can get outside of the AFC. What are they? South?
Mhm.
So they're gonna field every offer outside of the AFC South because they're not gonna want to see Deshaun Watson twice a year. So every single team outside of that, and I think what they're gonna do is just see the best offer is. I mean, I don't see them doing much better than that. When you have a talent like Deshaun Watson, I mean, it's gonna be a pure bidding war to see who's gonna want to pony up the prettiest penny to get a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, and he has top 3. Don't try to tell me that Josh Allen is better than Deshaun Watson because Watson has better stats with a worse offensive line coach and receiving core, and just a more dysfunctional team as is. So look, again, I think that pretty much for any free agent, it's a guessing game. I mean, there's no way to really say which team you think they're going to go to. There are definitely some teams that I think he would fit on better than others. But I just counted. I think there are 17 teams that are quarterback needy and could probably make a move for Deshaun Watson. Obviously, realistically, it's probably like 7 or 8. I would say though, I think the best fit for him is the Colts. It is the AFC South. I understand that. But we've
That ain't
seen,
happening.
yeah, but we've seen, I mean, Deshaun Watson this year, even without Will Fuller, was still balling out. And without Will Fuller, that receiving core is like, it's very comparable to what the Colts is, if not maybe slightly better. I don't know. You mean you're a better judge than I am. You see the Texans twice a year, and obviously you're a fan of the Colts. But um, I think Deshaun could play really well there if even if they were to get a guy like Godwin, Robinson, or Galladay there, just give him even more help. I think that'd be very appealing for Watson to potentially stay there long term. But look, I mean, there's a lot of teams. There really are. And I think the 49ers are a play for him because they're a quarterback away. I think the Washington football team is a potential play for them. But really, it's whatever team has a lot of draft picks and is able to just give up and has a lot of young talent that they can give up for me.
Yeah, I mean it just depends on who gives the best offer. So I went Washington football team. I'd love to see him there. I'd like to see him with the Niners, but I don't think that they'll put the best offer out
I
there
don't
having
think so.
Jimmy G. But Washington, I think, knows that they're a quarterback away. Maybe not completely just quarterback, but they got a pretty good line, pretty good running back core. They might need another compliment, but they got Terry McLaurin. I think Watson would like to work with that, and we know they have a good defense. Um, so I mean, I think they should be really aggressive trying to get Watson. Could they get Watson? They could be an 11-5 Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, I say 11-5 is a pretty good measure for them for sure. But like I don't know. I kind of battle if what they have at receivers is enough. Like I know it's very contradictory to what I just said about the Colts. I understand that, but I do feel like I mean Logan Thomas and Terry McLaurin. I don't think are going to be the selling point for Deshaun Watson. But again, like you said earlier, it's not Deshaun Watson's choice. It's the Texans' choice. So it's really entirely just up to whatever team like you and I have said is going to offer up the most. But do you got anything else to say about Watson?
Well, I mean, I feel like if it was up to him, it's not. But I think he's got to know that that's a beautiful landing spot for him, in my opinion, because the probably the quickest, brightest future out of all the other teams. Maybe the Niners, but
Yeah, I'd say the Niners. Honestly, I think the Colts are better than Washington, in my
yeah, but
opinion.
that's not realistic. So
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so second guy on the list, we've got Matt Stafford. What are your
he's
thoughts
going
on
to
Stafford?
Colts. Going to the Colts.
Going to the Colts straight up.
Going to the Colts. It's just,
440 is completely unbiased opinion. Matt Stafford is going to the Indianapolis Colts.
So no, I mean, through the season, it was kind of just like God, like I really want it to happen. Like I didn't know if it was actually gonna happen. Like no, it was just like a hopeful prediction. But then, like when you heard like the other day, he officially wants to leave. He's gonna be traded. I was like, okay, hopes up a little higher. Saw a tweet today that Matthew Stafford is eyeing the Colts. So now I'm just that's all I'm thinking of. That's all I'm thinking about. Everyone always asks me, all right, if you can't get Stafford, who do you think you should get? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't given any thought. Like we're getting Stafford. Like we're getting Matthew Stafford.
I don't know. I mean, I will say, I think personally, I think I've overvalued Matt Stafford, not from a standpoint from how he's performed over the last like this season, but I think I have based on how much he's worth and how much he can change a football team. Because remember, this is a guy who hasn't thrown for over 30 touchdowns since 2015, or he hasn't thrown anything over 33 since 2011. Like, I understand he's a great quarterback, but I feel like I am overvaluing him a little amount. He also hasn't thrown less than 10 interceptions when he's played 16 games ever in his entire career. So, just those things kind of concern me a little bit, if I'm being honest. Um, but
Here's the thing, though. Um,
yeah.
49ers went to the Super Bowl with Garoppolo. Rams went to the Super Bowl with Goff. And Phillip Rivers was borderline top 20, and Matthew Stafford is borderline top 10. That's a huge difference. And we all know it is. But, I mean, it's like we I don't know. Frank Reich lost our game, our wild card game. So it was crazy that we were still in that game with all the mistakes we made going for two for no reason. I won't even get into that, but like I don't know, man. It's such a big difference, and like we've seen like this year the quarterbacks were like great quarterbacks, but we've seen in the past few years, like I just said with Garoppolo and Goff, like you don't need to have the best quarterback. And there's nothing against Stafford. I'm just saying, like even I think he's a top 10 quarterback, even if you think he's like top 12. Huge difference. We're Super Bowl contenders with him, 100%. You don't think we're Super Bowl contenders
I
with Matthew
do, I
Stafford?
do, and I was actually I've been saying that for a while. I do. I just don't know if I'm overvaluing him. Like at one point I said if they get Matt Stafford, they are top 3 favorites to win the Super Bowl, and I don't know about that. Give me 1 second. I might have just gotten into PC. I don't know. My mom just said there's a package downstairs. Just give me 1 second.
All right. Boys trying to get into Providence College. I guess I'll keep it running. He ran downstairs for the people that are listening to this on Spotify and not watching this. Um, yeah. So yeah, to me, I don't know what he's talking about with overvaluing Matthew Stafford. Um, Matthew Stafford, top 10 quarterback. We don't even need to get into the situation because we know how bad the franchise was in Detroit. So easily top 10 quarterback. Easily makes us Super Bowl contenders. And I don't know why he kept talking about Watson. Watson to the Colts is unrealistic. That's not happening. I mean, I would empty my bank account to get that because if we got Watson, if the Colts got Watson, we would easily be we'd be the second best team in the league to the Chiefs. I'm not. It's not realistic though, so I won't even get into it. But so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We got 13 quarterbacks written down. All right. I don't even screw it.
It's nothing yet. I don't know. It's like I'm gonna check the portal right now because it might be. Because it's like I want to give you all the reasons why we'd like for your son to go. So it sounds like I don't know, dude. Hold on. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just to make my night a lot better.
Mm.
Fuck. What's my password? Oh my god. Yeah, no, nothing yet. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
My mom's like, yeah, I think there's someone downstairs. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, I can cut this out. Don't worry. So where do you want to start?
I mean, I think we're done with Stafford. I think they called.
All right, sounds good.
Uh,
Okay. Aaron Rodgers. All right, so moving on to the third guy on the list, we've got the loser of yesterday's game, Aaron Rodgers. What are your thoughts?
I mean, he ain't going anywhere. No way.
Yeah, I don't
But
see it.
yeah,
I think it's all an act. If I'm
I
being
think it's
honest.
yeah, and I think the Twitter yesterday going crazy. I was kind of like, just a dream kind of thing. It's not gonna happen. He's staying in Green Bay.
It would make no sense for me for it to happen. I understand the Packers do have their backup, lined up in Jordan Love, but why would he leave? He just won the MVP. Like it makes no sense. But I will say, regarding the Packers, I didn't touch on it earlier, but I do want to bring it up now. I don't know what this team needs. Like, of course, getting like a better like run defense could help, sure, because their run defense has been pretty bad. But they have a shutdown corner. They have the number one receiver in the league. They have the MVP. They have a top 5 offensive line. They have a great run game, a great young head coach. And yesterday, running wasn't the problem for them. Like the Bucs did not run like that well, where it was to a point where you were saying to yourself like, "Oh, the Packers just cannot stop them." Like that was never a problem. It's just like, what does this team need to do? Because it seems like they're kind of lost, and there's nothing for them to do. You know what I mean? It feels like they're kind of just like the Saints in the regard where the Saints are kind of just like, you know, they're just an early round exit, but they always go 13-3 in the regular season, 12-4,
Yeah,
and they just can never get to the Super Bowl.
yeah. I don't know. I think gotta replace Kevin King. I would trade up.
Yep.
I would saw that takeaways thing today. I would trade up for a DB, one of those top 3 DB prospects. I don't know. That's kind of a good point. I don't know what they need. That's kind of weird. It's kind of like looking at the Rams and you're like, what do they need besides a quarterback? Like nothing else.
But see, there is
But
an answer for them, like quarterback, and
yeah,
that's the most important part of the team. Individual player of the team, but for the Packers, like there's nothing. There really isn't, because in the NFC, who did they face that had that great of a run game where it just suffocated them? The Rams, who have a great run game, didn't suffocate them. They got through them fine. The Bucs run game has been better in the playoffs. It didn't suffocate them. The Packers were fine. It's just whether if it's situational, then like you can't do anything about that. That's a head coach issue. But if you think Matt LaFleur is the guy, then like you're just in this cycle of, it's like, what is it? And I don't know. It's very it's weird. And that's why I do think to an extent maybe it's like a change of scenery thing at quarterback, but that just seems dumb. Like that just saying that, and I bet you're like, What are you talking about? Like, I think the same thing. Like, it's not Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? Usually I would say, okay, just try to get a new quarterback. Like for the Bears, like I'd say just try to get a new quarterback. Um, for the Packers, I have no idea. I genuinely don't.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know, man. I
Me
don't know what
neither.
to tell you there.
But yeah, you think Rodgers is staying right there? He's not moving?
Yeah. I mean, you never know because you could see like a little Tom Brady type thing or Peyton Manning type thing where they just want to try a new organization for the end of their career. I don't know, but I
Mm-hmm.
doubt it. Definitely doubt that.
Yeah. All right. Next guy was a little bit of uncertainty. Dak Prescott.
He ain't leaving either.
He ain't leaving
Mm-mm.
either. I
That's
just don't think there's
another.
gonna be another team that's gonna want to pay him just after that injury. I mean, who's gonna want to pay a guy who just tore his Achilles? Big money.
Mhm.
Was it his Achilles? I think it was, right? Or his ACL?
He broke his ankle.
Broke. That's what it was. Yeah. I don't know. I don't necessarily want to pay a guy top 5 money in the NFL for a guy who just broke his ankle. It doesn't make much sense to me. Unless you're the Packers, the
Yeah,
not
I
Packers, the
mean,
Cowboys.
they'll either tag him again or empty their bank account on him.
Yeah, I don't see it in between. I think they will tag him again. I think that's the most
Yeah,
kind of like a earn it year. You know what I mean? Just like, all right, are you good past the broken ankle? Can we trust it or not? And
yeah,
if because then you're really not investing in anything. I mean, if again, like you said, if you go all in on this guy and you give him 45 million dollars a year, I mean, and his ankle sucks, you're screwed. You're just like the Rams with Jared Goff. But
I think they should tag him also because if they like. Here's the thing: you can't get rid of him. Obviously, I mean, like he had a great first half of the year, or whatever, but you got to tag him because you can't get rid of him, and you can't really empty your bank account on him because then you're not improving that defense at all, and you're still gonna suck.
yeah, I agree. And I think the Browns are going to find themselves in a similar situation when Baker Mayfield's rookie contract winds up, and they gotta either pay Baker because he's gonna want top 7 money. He will. I promise you that Baker. I think he's gonna have a solid year next year, and he's gonna have a Dak Prescott esque year in a way, kind of like not this season, but the season before that, when there was a lot of like, oh, is Dak gonna get a big contract or not? A season kind of like that. Um, and then the Browns are gonna have to say to themselves, like, okay, should we pay this guy big money or not? Like when Prescott threw 22 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. I think Baker will have a similar year to that with probably more touchdowns at that. Um, and then he's the Browns gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do. But look, I don't know. I really don't know what they're gonna do. What they're gonna do with Dak. I would tag him personally.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next guy. We've got Carson Wentz. Thoughts on Carson?
I think he's staying again. Personally, I don't see him being moved, especially because the only reason he wanted out was because of Doug Peterson. I think it would be best for him to be moved for sure. I don't think he's going to succeed in Philly. I could be wrong on that. I think if the Colts get Stafford, then he's going to stay. And say the Patriots or somebody else snags Stafford, then I think the Colts will try to get wins. I don't know, and I wouldn't be opposed to it. I think he can succeed in Indy. I don't know if he'll ever be his MVP self again, but I think he would has the potential to be better than Rivers was last year. I don't know. It's a big question mark. Could be a waste of a year, but I don't know. I think he's going to stay.
That's where you and I disagree because it's not a waste of a year. It's a waste of like 3 years because of his contract. Like this guy is going to be under contract in a big amount of money
True.
for the future. So if a team is going to pay for him, they've got to be like, all right, he's worth it. Like the injury is not an issue, and or not the injury, but like the mechanics and well, they just chalk it up as an off year, and I don't think you can do that. I think he is. I don't know. Like I do agree. I don't think he can succeed in in Philadelphia. I just think the offensive line is too bad. And he doesn't really have a whole lot of people to throw the ball to. But I do think in a team like the Colts or even a team like Washington, I do think he can succeed. But look, we'll have to see. I don't think he's going anywhere. Who's going to want that contract with that much uncertainty?
Yeah, I agree. That's all I got.
All right, moving on. Cam Newton. Hit me with it. So I know that you and I both think that Cam Newton is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, but let's set our biases aside.
Cam Newton sucks.
Cam Newton does suck.
Yeah, I think he's similar to Watson, and where I could see so many spots he lands. Because shoot, he might retire. I don't know. I don't think he will, though. I think he wants to play football. I think since I'm doing this a correlation to where I had it, so I had Washington getting Watson. So if they get Watson, they're not going to need Cam. I wrote down 49ers/Lions. The reason I said that, which I've never seen anyone say the Lions on social media, but I think it's a possibility, although I have somebody else on the Lions. But I think they could draft somebody and well, I wrote down 49. I think he'll go to the 49ers, maybe. Just a guess I threw out there. I think they know that Jimmy had a terrible year, but they still want to stick with him. They're not going to trade unless they can snag Watson or somebody. I doubt they would, or Stafford, who knows. But I think they'll stick with Jimmy and then kind of sign somebody like Cam Newton to maybe see if they can battle it out.
How much money do you think he's going to make? What do you think his contract's going to be? Because
what was it this year again?
He made $1 million. What did he do? Like, did anything about what he did this year tell a team, whew,
I mean,
we want him?
He'll be cheap, and it's not like he's like, okay, it's Haskins got signed. Like, everybody just keeps getting more chances, and it's like, I don't know. I don't think he deserves. I don't think he'll deserve a starting spot. I think he could be an okay backup. Yeah. Nobody's gonna pay him. Nobody's gonna pay him starting money. It's just kind of like Haskins. Like, why not? Just try him out.
8 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 7-8 record, 65% passing, 2,600 yards with it, 47 QBR. What about that says to a team, yeah, we want them here? Because for a starter, I mean, for a backup, fine, but for a starter, I just don't know why any team would want that. Honestly, I would take Taylor Heineke or whatever the hell his name is. I would take him over Cam Newton.
There's no way he gets a starting spot.
No way in hell. But I'm just saying, I would much rather have him than Cam Newton. In one game versus a bad pass defense, I'd much rather have him, honestly. Like, I watched all 16 games. I watched all 60 minutes of every game. I watched every Cam Newton drive. I watched every drive where Cam Newton got benched. There's nothing good about this guy. There's nothing. And you can't blame it on the receivers because there have been many, many times where receivers have been wide open and Cam has just missed them. Just blatantly missed them. And he isn't that efficient running the football. He doesn't look that good. I don't get it. I don't understand why anybody thinks that he should be a starter anywhere. But yeah, that's just what I'm thinking. I don't know. Doesn't make much sense to me.
I will never understand why people defend that.
Me either. All right. Moving on to, what is this, number 7? Number 8? I think. Yeah, number 8. We've got Sam Darnold. Good old Sam Darnold. What are you thinking?
Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I have no clue. I don't think he'll be on the Jets. I'll say that. I think they'll take Zach Wilson or Justin Fields.
And this is if they don't have Deshaun Watson, obviously.
Yeah, Well, I mean, I don't think he's going to be there either way. I think they'll be trading Darnold somewhere. Um, Thing is, it could be anywhere. I think you could see Washington, you could see the Patriots. Um, I've heard the Colts, which I'm not a huge fan of that. Um, the Bears, maybe, I don't know, but I think I wrote down Patriots. I don't know. I wrote down Patriots because I think the Patriots will. I think the Patriots will draft somebody too, but I don't know. I think the Patriots are gonna try to get Watson. They're gonna try to get Stafford. They're not gonna win those trades, or they're not gonna get it. Not gonna get it done, and then they're gonna be stuck. All these other quarterbacks are gonna have spots already. Just throwing it out there. And I don't know. They give up like a second round pick for Donald or something.
Well, I'm telling you this much: if they give up a second, they're not drafting a quarterback as well. That's just they won't do that.
That's true. That's true. But
I
yeah.
would, it's not practical. I would love to see Sam Darnold in Dallas. I think he'd look good in Dallas. I don't know, in the blue and white. You're not digging it?
Mm,
No. All
no.
right. Well, strike one. All right. Let's see. Where else do I like?
Would you write down the Cowboys?
I know. I honestly I didn't write anything down for Darnold. I'd like to see him in New Orleans with that offensive line and a great receiver and a good coach. I'd see him there because James Winston's a free agent. We'll get into him in a second. Um, just give him an offensive line. That's it. I think he can make do with any receivers. Like I don't, except for the Patriots, obviously, but I don't think there's a team in the NFL where I'm avoiding them because of their receivers. Honestly, like I think to an extent, every team at least has a good receiver, um, except for the Jets and except for the Patriots, and I guess maybe the Colts. But Michael Pittman could develop into a good one. Um, yeah, honestly, I don't want to see Sam Darnold in New York anymore. I just want to see him somewhere else just to see what he's got. I mean, what was he, third pick of the draft? I think he's got something. I really do. Adam Gase sucked the life out of this guy and did not develop. He admitted to it. Adam Gase said in a press conference, "Yeah, we probably didn't do the best job helping out Sam Darnold." Like, give him receivers, give him an offensive line, give him a playbook, and see what he can do. That's what I think. Honestly, anywhere. I don't even have a recommendation on the guy. Just give him something.
Yeah. I'm just super mixed emotions on him. That's the one guy I have no idea. I don't really have an opinion. I don't think he'd be as good as people think he would be. Although there's also some people that think he's just trash, which I don't think. I think he's kind of in between that.
Look, he has the
I don't
potential
think
to be top
I don't think
five
he'll be
all
a top
time.
15.
Top five all time. You heard it here first.
I don't think he'll ever be a top 15 quarterback. But I think he could be 15 to 20.
What would be a comparison for him?
I would say maybe slightly better than Jared Goff.
Okay, that's a fair comparison. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fair. Um, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh yeah, I said that earlier. I think he's gonna stay, and they're gonna sign
That's
somebody
right.
to battle it out.
Yeah, I don't see him leaving. Another thing, he's injury riddled. What other team would want him?
I think.
Drew. Oh, I hate this guy. I don't hate him. I just don't think he's that good. Drew
Yeah,
Lock.
I don't like him. He pisses me off, but I think he's definitely staying. They're gonna give him another year, and I kind of agree with it. I think, because to me, we did that worst quarterback bracket, and we took Daniel Jones over Drew Lock for being worse. I have way too many comments just flipping out. Like, I don't really care who you think is worse. Like, they're both not good, so
They both
not really a big
suck.
deal.
Both
Yeah, everyone's
bottom
like,
7.
"What? You think Daniel Jones is worse than Drew Lock?" It's like, who cares? Like, they suck. Like, both of them are terrible. But
Oh, I always think his name is Jake Lock. It's Drew Lock. That's Jake Locker. Okay, all right. I'm trying to look up his stats.
yeah, but I think they'll give him another year, and I actually agree with it because this is the reason I picked Daniel Jones to be worse than Drew Lock was because Drew Lock has at least shown me a few games. where he's thrown for over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. Like, he's done that a few times. I mean, he's one of very consistent, can be terrible, can throw 4 picks, but he's shown us a little bit of something, in my opinion. And my opinion, I don't think he's going to end up being good, but I think you got to give him another year because maybe there's always that possibility he has another Josh Allen type turnaround year in his 3rd year. So
Yeah. Was his offense that bad?
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, because
He's got Melvin Gordon, Philip Lindsay. He had Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, Noah Fant. He had guys to throw the ball to. He had 3 solid receivers. He had a solid run game. I mean,
they're all like under 25. A rookie wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy, has to step into a wide receiver 1 role, and he has huge drop issues, which we know. I like Tim Patrick, but like, you're not gonna. That's not a. I don't know I don't know how to word that, but that's not. That's like saying, "Oh, well, Colts got Michael Pittman." It's like maybe. It's like we'll see. And then I like Fant. He was also injured a lot this year. I'm not saying it was a terrible situation because Drew Lock was just not good, but it wasn't ideal.
it wasn't ideal. 16 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. I mean, he got
I'm not
ratioed.
defending him at all.
Yeah, no, I know you're not. I know you're not. No. The reason I'm saying this is I don't even know if I would give him a shot next year.
They
Like,
will.
I know they will. I don't know. 280
I don't know. I
yards,
mean,
4 touchdowns.
you're gonna have Sutton and your guys back next year. You know what? Next year could just be a complete throwaway year for them or a breakout year because they're doing the same thing with Vic Fangio.
I thought this year was gonna be a breakout.
Terrible coach. Vic Fangio, not a fan.
No.
But
I'm. Oh, sorry.
yeah, but they're giving him another year, and he's going to be on the hot seat next season. It's just they're kind of just giving everyone another year, breakout or done.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna break out this year, and then Bradley Chubb and Von Miller and AJ Boye decided to get injured. I don't know. I don't see anything in Drew Lock. Drew Lock. I again, like you said, I think they have to start him because you're like you have the understanding like, oh, they get some of their offensive line back, they get Cortland Sutton back, they get the rookies and younger guys a year older. Noah Fant has another year, and then you get your defense back. I don't know. Yeah, I guess. I guess you give it to him, but personally, I wouldn't. Not a big fan. I don't think he's gonna do anything too crazy.
Me either. I don't think he will. But if you would have asked me last year if you should give Josh Allen another chance, I would have said no.
Mm-hmm.
He was not top 20 last year.
All right, let's rattle off these relatively quickly. We got Alex Smith, Taylor Heineke, staying or going?
So since I had Watson there, I think Heineke gets involved in that trade and goes to the Texans and starts.
In starts?
Yep.
I think you said earlier Heineke's not going to start anywhere.
No, I was talking about Cam.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean that's only if they get Watson. I think he's involved in the trade if they get Watson. I don't know, maybe not.
I like that take. I could actually see that. Number 11, Jameis Winston. Is he the future?
He's the future of the Saints.
He's the future of the Saints. Yeah, that eye surgery. He's gonna be back. He's back.
I see him having a good year next year. I don't know why.
I see him throwing like 24 touchdowns and like 50 interceptions. I see him having a.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean,
I say I'm gonna pick his stat line right now. 28 touchdowns.
0 interceptions.
18 picks.
18 picks. Are the Saints a playoff team next year?
No.
I
have him at like 8-8.
8-8. Who wins the division?
With the NFC, that's damn near a 7 seed.
Oh my God, I know. Who wins the division? Bucks?
Yeah. Usually.
Bucks are repeating.
They They haven't even done it once.
Oh, they will. You watch. You are. All right. And last but not least, Teddy B. Teddy Bridgewater.
I think they'll keep him. They'll draft like Trey Lance or somebody, and Teddy will get benched like week 6 for Trey Lance.
Very specific. I like it. Yeah.
And Mitch Trubisky's going to the Lions too.
Just throwing them all out, huh?
Mm-hmm. He's going to be the Lions starter while they rebuild. Because why not?
I like the reasoning. Because why not? I like it. Okay. Because why not? All right. Look, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I don't necessarily. I don't hate Teddy Bridgewater. I think he gets a lot of hate. And I
I
don't
love him, but
necessarily agree with it. I don't think he had that bad of a year, or as bad as people are making it out to be. I mean, I don't know. He had a 70% completion percentage. Obviously, touchdowns were a little low, interceptions were a little high, but I don't know. I don't hate the guy. I will say, if I am the Panthers, you have a solid run or a young defense. The offensive line needs a little bit of help, but yeah, I think they can definitely afford to pick a guy like Trey Lance. His name is being attached to them so much. A guy like Trey Lance, because look, like I said, you have a good young defense, you have McCaffrey back, and you have a great wide receiver trio. So if you think you got something here, and you got Matt Rule, who didn't have a bad rookie year. So we'll have to see though. But that is going to sum it up for our quarterback destinations. Moving on to the biggest debate in sports history. Who is the GOAT? Plain and simple.
you gotta say Tom. You can't. Yeah, Tom. Just Tom. You can't just. You can't. You just can't.
Yeah.
I'll let you do your rant.
All right. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. And I don't know. I don't understand. I simply cannot begin to understand the people that try to say he isn't. Whether you say it's Joe Montana, whether you say it's Aaron Rodgers, or whether you say it's Peyton Manning, I don't understand how you can say Tom Brady isn't the GOAT. And look, 440 and I both understand and both agree full-heartedly. Teams are entirely wins or a team stat, right? But it gets to a point when you have 10 Super Bowl appearances, 15 conference championship appearances, 33 total playoff wins, which is more than double second place. Joe Montana was 16. Every single playoff record, every single one. Anyone except for total touchdowns or interceptions. Actually, he might have total interceptions because he's been in so many damn games. You have all of that. Add all of the accolades. Add in the 3 MVPs. Add in the 14-time Pro Bowl and 3-time All-Pro. You could make an argument that he could have 3 separate Hall of Fames, like Hall of Fame careers. You could. You honestly could. Let's look at 01 to 07, three Super Bowls. Look at 08 to 14. He has 2 Super Bowls in some of his best years. And look at 15 and on. He has 3 Super Bowls and has been one of the most dominant quarterbacks over that span. I mean, you could make a legit case for that. I don't know. Like, honestly, I just don't understand how you can't say it is. And at this point, for the amount of people that are just trying to be different and not conform to the actual facts that Tom Brady is the greatest of all time, I'd love to hear your argument for something besides stats. Because first of all, Tom Brady is going to be first in yards and touchdowns by the end of his career. So he already has the stats to back it up, and he's going to be top 5 in completion percentage. And have one of the highest ratings of all time. Second of all, I love the Aaron Rodgers debate because it's so highly based on hypotheticals. It's so frustrating. It's like, oh, well, look what he did when he did have a top 10 defense. Or look what he did do. Imagine if he had this. Oh, okay. So we're going to give Aaron Rodgers the number one title because of what could have been. Because of, oh, well, if you gave him these defenses, if you gave him these receivers, he would have been. No, we're not going to give handouts to these guys because of what could have been. Regardless of the defenses Tom Brady had, he won 2 Super Bowls with 2 bottom 10 defenses. People
I
love
think
to bring up the defenses. That's
I
the thing
think
that I think
yeah.
separates him from Joe Montana, if I'm being honest. Besides the stats, Joe Montana had a top 5 defense every single time he won the Super Bowl. Granted, he went for 4 for 4, but he had a top 5 defense. Tom Brady didn't. Also,
I
Joe Montana, Jerry Rice.
I think people mix up greatest of all time and best of all time. As in, you can make the case. You can make the case for Rodgers being the most talented quarterback of all time, but
Yeah, I don't know
you
about
can't call
greatest
him the
and best,
goat.
but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think greatest
But
and
I think
talented, sure.
people combine that into one, and that's no, it's two different things.
Talented.
Because
For me, talented is between Aaron Rodgers, Dan Marino, and Patrick Mahomes.
I got for talented, I would say Steve Young, Dan Marino, and Aaron Rodgers for my top 3.
Fair.
That yeah, and then because then you go over to greatest of all time, and I got Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Joe Montana.
Yep.
It's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
And that's where the hypotheticals come in. You can use the hypotheticals for talented for sure, like Dan Marino, same thing. But you can't call Dan Marino the GOAT. You can't call Aaron Rodgers the GOAT.
Nope. Dan Marino didn't have a Super Bowl. I think to be the GOAT, you have to have at least one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And if his
Well,
defenses were that bad, then why is it he's gone to the conference championship 5 times? His defense has gotten there 5 times. So Aaron Rodgers was only good enough to get past it once, and he did it against a backup quarterback. He beat Jay Cutler's backup. That's the only reason he's in the Super Bowl. That's it.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't put all the blame on Aaron Rodgers,
No.
but I mean, not even. I don't know, man. I'm kind of mixed on that one too because, like I said, you can't call Aaron Rodgers the GOAT, but I don't want to take away from him because I don't want to just say, oh, like he's had fine defenses. Like he has pretty bad defenses.
Mhm.
Tom's the GOAT, but I think Aaron Rodgers has kind of gotten the shaft a little bit. Some of it's definitely him. Like he didn't. I guess what you were saying earlier, like he didn't play bad this week at all. He didn't do enough though. But that the Packers, Cardinals, for example, man, dude throws a Hail Mary and puts it into overtime, doesn't touch the ball in overtime and loses. I
Mhm.
guess once again you could say maybe he didn't do enough, but that's still getting the shaft.
He put up 20 points
Or
that game. He hasn't put up more than 26 in any conference championship.
yeah,
26 isn't bad, but if that's your highest in 5 appearances, that's pretty bad. He averages 21 points per game in the conference championship. 21. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to win. And I honestly, dude, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I completely disagree with you. Aaron Rodgers is the king of being excused. The absolute king. This is why this is literally the only reason people are saying he is the greatest of all time is because of the excuses they make for him. They excuse the defenses. They excuse his weapons. They excuse the record, the shit records he's had in his career. They're all excuses. That to me, like Peyton Manning, you would know better than I do, has had some of the worst defenses ever made. I mean, Peyton Manning has had some awful defenses. Peyton Manning didn't have a year where he didn't get at least 11 wins. When he was actually like in his prime and like past like a second or third year. Aaron Rodgers has had some bad years. I mean, just like with bat like 6-9-1. Are you kidding me? 4-3, and then he got hurt. 6-3. 10-5, and that's when he had the 13th ranked defense. I mean, I don't know. People give this guy way too many excuses. I don't understand it.
yeah. I mean, I don't think he's a top 5 Well, I would put him at 4 or 5.
I put him at
4 to
four.
6.
My top 5 was Brady 1, Montana 2, Peyton Manning 3. Those two are very interchangeable. And then 4, I had Rodgers. 5, I had Dan Marino. That was my top 5. I don't know who else you could. I mean, honestly, dude, if Patrick Mahomes wins the Super Bowl, he has 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, more than Aaron Rodgers in 15. And be honest, did Patrick Mahomes have that great a defense this year or last year? It's underrated, but like his defense in no means carried him to the Super Bowl.
It's like Patrick Mahomes is a different breed, though. He'll be the second greatest of all time when he's done with his career. He won't catch up to Tom because we will never see another person dominate the sport of football for 21 years the way Tom did.
No.
Ever.
No way, because nobody's gonna be as consistent. That's another thing. People don't give Brady the consistency factor that Brady has. I mean, Rodgers has had many years where you've questioned, how good he is. So through 9 games, 17 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I mean, I don't know, 28 and 13, 28 and 11.
I mean, he ain't the GOAT. That's all I'll say, but
yeah,
definitely has some talent.
Definitely has some talent. And look, you can make the argument he's the most talented quarterback of all time. He has a great arm, great mobility, very good accuracy when under pressure. But honestly, I think you could also make the argument that Patrick Mahomes will go down as the most talented quarterback of all time.
Yeah, probably.
I think he will. I mean, Patrick Mahomes he's like playing out there. You know what I mean? Like he's playing a different game than everybody else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have some much better thought out rants on my TikTok, but if you want to go check those out, but that's all I really got. What else you got? Is that it?
That's all, man. That's all I got.
That's all. All right, guys. Well, if you stayed this long, then it means you must, like I said, like hearing what we have to say. So subscribe, go check out all of our stuff. Thank you so much for listening. See you guys next time.